I'm Effie from IO Astrology, and today we're going to talk about the Jupiter-Saturn cycle of 2020, artificial intelligence, and some tech job stuff.
What we're talking about more or less is something called computer-aided decision-making, I suppose, or decision support systems, and like some of these other things we've talked about, the first trouble is trying to define what it is we are talking about. How would you define a decision support system?
Artificial intelligence is only one contributing but truly significant factor to the changes in the tech job market. AI has existed since the late 1940s, but the idea of having an all-knowing computerized assistant has been portrayed in film and television for as long as I can remember, culturally preparing us for the day when these ideas would somehow become reality.
Decision support systems encompass a broad range of analytical tools, from forecasting programs that calculate trends and predict outcomes to expert systems that can draw conclusions and make their own decisions. Whether or not decision aids require some degree of artificial intelligence, they are presently in routine use, having proven their efficiency and accuracy in a number of applications.
In mundane astrology, the conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn is referred to as the Great Conjunction. This conjunction signifies new economic cycles, among other things. The most recent Jupiter and Saturn conjunction took place on December 21st, 2020 in Aquarius. This conjunction was considered unique due to the proximity of the planets. They hadn't been that close since 1623. So intuitively, you can guess that the closer the planets, the more powerful the conjunction. I am seeing interesting synchronicity between that conjunction and developments in AI and the tech job market. So I decided to put together this sort of pseudo-investigative astrological analysis. What I want to emphasize here is the first correction to that inflated hiring period occurring when Jupiter entered Taurus in May of 2023. This square would pose challenge to the developments of the 2020 conjunction, as Taurus is slow, steady, and not a technological sign. This period also marked the beginning of a correction in jobs postings that has since steadily declined throughout 2024 and 2025. Barring the explosion of an organic hiring boom that is completely offline and based on human networks, this May 2023 transit was probably the true beginning of the stagnation we've seen over the past 2 years. Being ruled by Venus, partnerships of some kind are important to Jupiter's expression here. I don't think it's coincidental that Sam Altman would focus on congressional hearings before the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee around this time in May of 2023, bringing AI regulation into the spotlight. The Frontier Model Forum would debut in July of that same year, likely a result of these same Senate Judiciary Subcommittee conversations. So in 2024, Jupiter would enter into Gemini in May, making a trine to the original 2020 conjunction. Gemini is a fellow air sign to Aquarius, so communication, excitability, telecommunications are all areas that would be a perfect complement to the original Aquarian conjunction. May of 2024 was also a big time of activity for these companies. I believe this was around the time that ChatGPT 4 was released and Claude Sonnet also came out. So it was during this period that you're seeing developments in product, revenue, rollouts, not getting the holdup of regulatory conversations and legal concerns that were made apparent when Jupiter was in Taurus in that 2023 square. Jupiter will enter into Leo in 2026, forming a harsh aspect to the original 2020 conjunction. Now, in a similar way as to what we saw with Jupiter in Taurus, we will probably see stagnation or open challenge to AI development. I predict that this is going to come in through an industry represented by Leo, none other than Hollywood. There is no other industry, in my mind, that has as much power, social influence, and, of course, money.
Hollywood writers and content creators are now leading the charge against AI over copyright infringement. That is the focus of today's Tech Check with Deirdre Bosa. Pretty interesting case here, Dee.
Yeah, good morning, Carl. It is one of the big early risks or questions around generative AI is that copyright infringement. And as you said, Hollywood continues to lead the fight on that front. The latest, comedian Sarah Silverman, with a few other authors, are suing OpenAI and Meta, each over claims of using their content without permission to train chatbots. They allege that the company's large language models were trained on their books without the proper authorization. And of course, this isn't just an issue for Meta and OpenAI, but it raises questions about the limits of copyright itself and how chatbots can leverage content when so much of the internet is copyright protected. In other words, the copyright lawsuits, they're probably only just beginning.
Well, it's been a long time since the starting of this video and I thought, since it's almost Halloween, what could be scarier than a makeup look that is reminiscent of Minnie from Rosemary's Baby combined with the lighting of a nylon photo shoot? Not much, and I'm not taking this tag off because I'm taking this hat back. I'm all about frugality. AI and Hollywood have captured the hearts and minds of people in different ways. In the post-war period, where there were a lot of very, let's just say, less than ideal realities that people had to face day to day, going and sitting in a movie house with others, dreaming into stories of love and heroism and adventure, would have probably felt so much more important and influential than a time where things were just going great and people were satisfied within their day-to-day lives. So in this way, we almost, I would say, psychically charged the collective with this need to go and have a Neptunian Pisces moment with others involving screens and images that were literally projected to us via the magic of film technology. And, you know, that's what Pisces is all about. It's magical, it's elusive, it's transcendent, it's very mysterious, right? So going on to AI, we have this other sort of dream where we have not been in a war such as World War I or World War II, but we have become a little downtrodden perhaps with economic realities, and we don't know how to get out of them, right? There's a lot of wage disparity, right? We've got problems with, you know, various things, healthcare. Nothing feels like it's abundant. Let's just put it that way. And there have been times, I mean, even within my own life, where I have been at a job and thought to myself, as a systems thinker, I just wish that there was a way that I could get the patterns of what I do into a thing that I could use to do my job. And then I could just sort of let that thing do my job. Well, I get paid to do my job. And of course, you know, little did I know that if you know, when you think things, sometimes they're in the process of being created. Let's just put it that way. And I don't think I'm the only person that's ever had that thought. And I mean, point being, that is also a dream that is being made flesh and has been made flesh and is being made more flesh. I mean, hello robotics. So I just think that you've got dream time here that is very influential over the collective consciousness, very influential in terms of what humans are being trained to want. You know, we have a standard now, we're going to want to go beyond that standard. Most people know that AGI is probably bad news. But I almost guarantee you that if there is a way for the people thus far involved, I mean, once again, people like Sam Altman, who can sell us a utopian version of AI, a very, I don't know, Eon and Horus Thelemite, hyper individualistic. You will be so powerful and rich. If you on UBI, your life will be so you'll have so much more meaning in your life if you just have a UBI. You can literally go and do what you want. I guarantee you, maybe a lot of us, I want to give us credit, but I think at this point I have been let down. I think a lot of people will actually believe that, and they will go and get on UBI. If you look around now at the whole EBT war, I mean, those people, they're tired. Those are the types of people that are gonna get on UBI, and they're gonna dream that dream. Maybe they can't be a software engineer or an ML scientist. People still need to eat. So that's it for me. I'm done with this video. I probably won't be dressing up again, but it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. If you like this video, give me a like and a subscribe. I'm over at Astrology, and I'm gonna start a book club. We're gonna go through the classics, get a foundation, Blavatsky, Plato, not necessarily like in the spirit of practicing magic, but definitely more getting the framework for deciding what you want to do with your spiritual life, because astrology for me is definitely more of a data point for a larger spiritual framework, not just the end-all be-all of spirituality. Yeah, so that's it for me, and hopefully I'll see you before next Halloween. Bye.